Hello, hello, hello. I know y'all wondering why I'm in my car. Because I am in Chicago. I'm in Chicago and I've been running around like a chicken with her head cut off. But we have something in store for you today. We have Kikifers Academy coming on to share all the information with you about their school and their summer program. And we're just going to have a really, really good conversation. So, we're going to, yes, they are here. We're going to have them come in and let's get it cracking. Let's see. Are you guys ready? Can you come in? Let me know. Yes, hello.
Hey, how are you, sis? The wife here.
I'm all right. Hello. How are you guys?
Good,
We
how are
are
you?
good. Hold it this way.
Oh, it's been a wonderful, very eventful. You see, I'm still in my car.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm in Chicago, and it's been a very active and wonderful weekend. And I definitely did not want to be late to this interview. So I am very grateful and I thank you guys for joining on, and I can't wait to share with the people about the things that your academy is doing and all the awesome things that you guys have prepared for the summer.
Absolutely.
And also, before we get started, let me say happy Father's Day to
Thank you.
you,
Thank you. Thank you.
Girl Harry, and all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes. So, let's get started. Tell us a little bit about your academy and how it came to fruition.
So our school is we're located physically here in Rockford, Illinois. Although we do have students across the country. We have students in Houston, Detroit, Atlanta, et cetera, et cetera. Our school, the basis of our school is that every student who attends our school has to start a small business that generates revenue. And every student also must publish a minimum of one book a year. So this year, our youngest published authors were 4 years old and up. In addition, yes. I think I shared it in a story in a snap. I think I shared in the story our 4-year-old when she made honor roll. So she also published a book and made honor roll. So we're proud of her. And actually, we had more than one. Actually, we had more than one 4-year-old that published a book. So that was cool. We also have year-round STEM. We also do Black History year-round, mental health, and just a plethora of other things. We have a large network and resource of entrepreneurs that tap in and feed into our babies. So everybody from people who may have just started a business a year ago, and see where they're at, all the way up to we've had, ATS Business University, Antonio Smith Jr., who is America's youngest Black billionaire, all the way to A. Donahue Baker from Money Ave Bank. So we have a plethora of multimillionaires, CEOs, billionaire, founders of companies, everybody that pours into the babies. We just got back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where our school was featured, for Black Wall Street. So we are excited about that, and we're just looking to grow and offer more resources for our students in our community. And we'll tell you more about some of the stuff we have going on this summer as well as we go into the interview.
Yes, I cannot wait. So, Sister Keishonda, did I say it right? Keishonda? Keishonda. Okay, Keishonda. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What are some of the things that let me back it up before I tell everybody before I ask you guys this. Can you tell us why people should invest or enroll into your school, and if they can enroll without necessarily being in Rockford?
Well, the why is because the public school system and even the private school system in America is not beneficial for Black children in particular. And we know this because they have a 400-year track record of just not educating us. And it doesn't matter what city we go to, it doesn't matter who we talk to, everybody has the same complaints about the educational system where they live, especially when it comes to dealing with Black boys. It's something about 80% of the school systems are white females, and they just don't know how to handle and deal with our Black boys. Black boys just, they have such a difficult time in the school system. And so the why, if we're talking about changing the economic turn, I guess if you will, for Black people going forward, there's no other educational system like this in the country, specifically for Black people. So I've heard of, the Saudi princes of the world, or the queens of whatever, Wales, England, those type of people, their children go to these type of schools where they're taught to be kings and queens and to be rulers, and something like that has just never been offered in our community. And here we are practically giving it away, teaching and raising our students and our children to be rulers, to be kings and queens, and AKA entrepreneurs and business owners in their own communities. And so the why is that we talk about Black Lives Matter, we talk about Juneteenth, we talk about change in our community, and this school in and of itself is literally, as Barack Obama said, being the change that we want to see. We're literally producing the children that are going to change the outlook of our community going forward. And so that's the why. If you want to see change in your community, then your students should be a part of this movement, because being an entrepreneur is going to be the standard of education in the next 5 to 10 years. And that standard of education came from Kikifers Academy. So that's the why. As far as enrolling, we have enrollment all over the country. So we have what's called in-state Illinois enrollment, and then we have out-of-state national enrollment. And so COVID-19, while it's been a curse in our country, it's been a blessing for us, and because it forced us to adapt to our environment. So when we started school last September, we were completely virtual, and realizing that even though the students were only 5 minutes from us here in our city, we could offer our curriculum for them virtually. So we can offer for a student who's 5 minutes away, we can offer for a student who's a plane ride away. And therefore we started picking up students all over the country. So we have students in Atlanta, we have students in Texas, we have students in Michigan, we have students in Wisconsin. And so our curriculum and our platform and our program works for students all over the country. And that's why we set it up going into this fall. You can register for school at Kikifers Academy, and there's everything that our students here at home get, they all get all over the country. So we have published authors that published a book out of Texas. They still had their STEM classes when we had our STEM classes. They'll still be able to learn how to develop apps. Some of the students in Texas even joined us when we went on our field trip to Tulsa. And let Brother Henry tell some of the big announcements coming up as we travel the world and literally travel the world with our students next year. All of our students across the country will have those opportunities. They don't miss out on opportunities just because they're in another state. And to be honest with you, we're going to be virtual coming up this school year, this 2022 school year. But during that time, Henry and I are literally putting together a plan of action on how we can implement physical locations of Kikifers Academies all over the country. Because this, as I said, this is the new standard of education. If you're not teaching your children to be an entrepreneur, then you're not educating them. You're not preparing them for the world. We all heard the saying, nobody wants to go to school to get a job, nobody wants to do that cycle no more, especially this generation. But can't just assume that children know how to be entrepreneurs. Hell, most of us adults don't know how. So we're starting it out the womb. Like as soon as they get here and 3 or 4 years old, what's the EIN number? What's a DBA? How do you establish an LLC or a corporation? We're giving the babies these tools and these resources that they need out the womb. So
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm definitely gonna keep in touch with y'all because y'all know I'm about the babies. That's my specialty, the early childhood education. And then I know that you guys do K through 8, but it sounds like y'all doing
We do
3-year-olds too.
We're K through 12, and so it's hard to do a 3 or 4-year-old virtually. We haven't had any virtual.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it is.
But we're actually K through 12, and so we'll take here in person. We'll take a 3-year-old that's potty trained and well behaved. If they can sit down and watch Hulu, then they can sit down and listen to you and learn about entrepreneurship. And so, as long as they are well behaved, we'll take them at 3 years old.
Yes, and I want to touch on 3 things that you guys have mentioned since we've been talking thus far. One, I do agree, and I'm glad that you mentioned that it is hard for the younger children to go to school online. Is a little bit more challenging because of their attention span. So I have to get that through to a lot of my parents and people that I work with or talk to about for early childhood education. It is a lot more challenging. The fact that you said, "Oh, we teach Black history every day." That's I love it, because Black history essentially is American history, and it should be taught every day. And I just love that about what you guys are doing. And then teaching the children about the importance of starting your own business, but also those details about a DBN or a LLC. Some of those things that I didn't even learn until college, and it didn't resonate with me until I actually started going into the process of putting boots on the ground to start my own business, and it started resonating with me a lot more. So I definitely believe that everything that you guys are doing is crucial and very important, and I love it. I feel like I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've been calling it Kikifers. Can you pronounce it one more time for me? And does it have a special meaning?
So Kikifers, right? Like Kikifers, right? Like the Drake song "Kiki, Do You Love Me," right? And so my wife, her name is Keishonda, but they called her Kiki growing up. And so when we went to Vegas, long story short, we got a pet name. Kikifers came out of Vegas when we went to the Laugh Factory. And we brought it back. When we first got into business, we started a product line called Kikifers Obsidian, just based on the nickname my wife got in Vegas. And we grew our product line into our beauty supply store, and then our beauty supply store into salons, and then salons into the school. So anything carrying that name just came out of that line of us when we first got into business. And that's, so that'll probably be the last thing we get a Kikifers name to. We'll probably use our own name for other businesses, but everything with the Kikifers name came out of that origin of us starting business from the trunk of the car.
Okay.
So
Kikifers. I don't know why I keep saying Kikifers in my head. It's not even 2 F's in it, but Kikifers. I like it. I just wanted to know because it sounds very unique. And like it has to have a meaning behind it.
We wanted to have a name that Black folk could identify with, like, oh yeah, Kikifers, like, oh yeah, that's us right there. So it's already that's our people right there. Right. So
yes, I love it. Definitely got that Black people touch to it. My real name is Mynika, so I get it. If people mess up my name all the time, and I always gotta correct them. So names are very important to me, and the meaning behind it is even more important.
Yes, ma'am.
So you guys got a summer program that parents could enroll into or get their children into now. Can you tell us about that? Because I am promoting that right now to keep our children active during the summer, engaged in new activities, and having new experiences is very important. I was just having a conversation with some youth just a few minutes ago, telling them not to be scared to venture out your comfort zone. Absolutely. Because you have to figure out what you like and what you don't like, and you never know what you don't like if you don't try anything. And so I'm having these conversations all the time, not only with our youth, but with our parents as well, because I want them to understand how important that is. And that we need them to encourage, and challenge their children a little bit more to step out that comfort zone, to step out of the 4 walls of their block or their neighborhood and things of that nature. So Tell us,
Absolutely.
please, what these programs are so these parents could start coming in.
Turn it this way. All right. So we already have all, entrepreneurship is the basis of what we do. So for example, one of our students who was selling books this school year, he was making about $1,000 a week selling books, right? And so we've established that through entrepreneurship, that's spelled wrong, by the way.
I got it.
Through entrepreneurship, there's lots of options. So one of the benefits of being connected to and having a billionaire that supports your school is that he's able to provide us with different resources. So one of the things we're providing this summer that's new to our school is that every student who comes to our school will now be taught how to create, develop, test, and sell games and apps in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And so we are working on app development, and not just to create the app for fun, but to be able to sell it and make money off of it. Because we always want our students making money consistently. So with that being stated, the step up from there is once they master making apps and games, which master means, once they knock out maybe 10 apps or so that they have for sale in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, then we'll upgrade them to teaching them how to create video games for PlayStation and Xbox that they can sell either through Sony or Microsoft, and create video game companies, since that's the wave of what children like to do. So that is the new things we're adding this summer. That's
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you out, but I know some people just came in. I want to reiterate what he just said. So you guys in your summer program that you're about to kick off this summer, right?
It starts this month.
Starts
Starts Tuesday.
Oh, it starts Tuesday. Even better. They're going to be teaching your children how to make apps to sell in video games to sell.
Yes, ma'am.
Right away. What?
Absolutely.
Learning and making money at the same time.
Absolutely.
What?
That's the best way I like learning that way.
Yes, I love learning that way too. Hey, it would promote. It would encourage me to want to learn more.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's one of the big things we have for this summer. It actually will roll into the school year, because when our students come back in the fall, you're gonna have more students in the fall. So we'll introduce the students in the fall also to create app development and creating apps. And we also, another big thing, I don't know, I guess for people that are in that world, that we'll be offering is a marketing university, everything marketing. So that way students can turn themselves into consulting. So whether it's digital marketing agencies, whether it's, content creation, whether it's helping people to do whatever, we want our students to have that information. So that way, because my wife and myself, we're business consultants. That's what we do. We help businesses with whatever paperwork, back office work, or whatever it is whatever the need is. But to be able to give that to our students now, it allows our students to be able to travel and set up shop anywhere. They can do business anywhere. And once you have a book, which you can't have a brand without a book, right? Antonio Smith Jr. told us, no book, no brand. Right, so you got to have a book to have a brand. So our students will have a book, which means they have a brand that they can push. They'll have, the technology side of it down. They'll have apps, or be able to create an app for their business. And then they'll also will be able to give you the information that you need to make your business successful. So we are making our goal for the next 2 to 3 years is to produce our first 6-figure earner student that's in school. And within the next 4 to 5 years, the goal is to produce our first 7-figure earner who's in school, still learning, but also making 7 figures while in school. So that's kind of where our summer programs push towards, while we're talking video game development, app development, and there's a lot more coming, but we got to roll it out slowly so people can take grasp of it and see what's coming next. But there's a lot more coming next.
Oh man, I love that already. Just as it's one summer program, right?
Absolutely.
That's just awesome. I love it. I'm like, okay, this is my next question. At what age does it start? How old do you have to be to get into that program?
For summer school, it's K through 12, just like our regular school. But if we have a 3 or 4-year-old that's well behaved and potty trained in person, we'll take them at that age. We're not ready. And honestly, 3 and 4-year-olds just aren't ready for virtual. Like, they're not meant to be in school online. It just doesn't work for a 3 or 4-year-old. And so as we grow as an institution and we're able to set up physical locations across the country, then we'll be able to offer, in-person school and all the bells and whistles that come with Kikifers Academy to our in-person pre-K students. But we just don't, it's just not feasible to ask a 3 or 4-year-old to sit on a Zoom, and they can't really grasp what you're giving them at that age. It's hard for them to grasp it just being in person, but you're talking about trying to get them to grasp what you're giving them through a computer or through a cell phone. It's not meant to be. It's just not how it's set up. So we'll take them kindergarten, 5 or 6-year-old over for summer school, but we actually only have, I think we're only taking 20 students over the summer this year, and so we're about half capacity, and that's including virtual. So we got about 10 that are in person right now, and so there's only about 10 more spots that we're going to take over the summer anyway.
Only 10 more slots, y'all. I hope you hear it. And if you left out, when I repost it, I hope you hear it now. It's only 10 spots. Look, I had to ask again because I'm like, shoot, that would be a great program for somebody who might be in college. Absolutely. Even something, a college student could do that program.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm not big. I'm not that great at technology, but it almost make me want to come and enroll in them classes.
What is we got this from Antonio Smith, and when he first started making games, he had no knowledge of how to make games, apps, anything. Within 3 months, he was able to create, I think, 60 games, and like 20 something PlayStation, Xbox games, within like months. So it's the difficulty factor is only in that most of us don't possess the knowledge on how to do it, but once we have the know-how, then it becomes easy. Once it becomes easy, then we can just duplicate the process over and over and over. So it's all a wash, rinse, repeat, type of cycle that once we got it, and once you see it can generate you real revenue, now you're like, okay, you know what? Even if it's not my favorite thing, because people always say, do what you love to do or you should do in life what you love to do. True, if either what you love to do generates you the type of income that allows you to do that, or if you have a high income generator already, then you can do what you love to do. But if what you love to do doesn't generate revenue, you're going to run into a problem in life. There's a breakdown in that formula that doesn't make sense. You're going to come up with the wrong. You have to have a high income generator attached to what it is you love to do in life. Put those two together. Now you're on the right road. So.
Wow, I agree. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about, because I'm one of those people, right, where I have to go to meetings or I have to go handle a lot of business and there's a lot of waiting in between, and I get on my phone and I play an app to pass the time, right? And when you think about some of the stuff like Candy Crush or, hey, everybody just getting in, when you're playing stuff like Candy Crush, or what's the one, like my 2-year-old nephew could play, the one where you just be swiping up and you swipe left and right, and the little
cutting up the fruit.
Yeah, and it's like you jumping on trains and stuff. I can't remember what it is, but toddlers.
Subway Surfer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Subway Surfer, right. They could play that. They got a minion one, and they just playing that game, right, with no problem. And just to think of something so simple as swiping up to left and to right, so simple that a toddler could do it. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, right? So I'm thinking of all the stuff that I play on my phone. I'm like, I will enroll into y'all some program to learn how to make an app. That's awesome. Anything else coming out this summer that students can enroll in too?
This summer, no. App development and video game development is where we're at this summer.
Okay.
And we talk a lot about entrepreneurship and students writing books and students becoming published authors. But we are a school, right? So we're educating children. We're teaching them how to read. We're teaching them how to write. We're teaching them math, algebra, geometry. When they leave Kikifers Academy, they're ready to go to college, or they're ready to start their own business, or whatever it is they want to do in life. We prepare them for that. So one of the things I talk about all the time is that if a student wants to be a doctor, we don't discourage students from going to college. Somebody asked us that, like, why don't you teach students to go to college? We don't discourage students from going to college, right? Some things you need a degree in. You have to go get a doctorate degree if you want to be a heart surgeon. But what we encourage our students to do is, we don't want you to become a heart surgeon and go work for the local town hospital, right? We want you to be a heart surgeon and open your own heart surgeon company, right? Practice. Open your own heart surgery practice. So X, Y, and Z heart surgery practice. We want you to be the best heart surgeon there is out there. And if you're the best at what you do, then you can turn that into a small business, right? People need heart surgery. Why they got to go to the hospital? Why can't they come to you? People need engineering services. They don't have to go to Aerotech for their engineering services. They can come to you with it. So we teach our students that entrepreneurship is first, right? And if they want to get a job, or if they want a career, that comes secondary. That ties into your entrepreneurship, if you will. So my point is that the education and the common core, the core curriculum that students need, that children need, the math, the science, the English, that's there. So we're not just bringing students to school and teaching them entrepreneurship and they can't add. You know, they can't put a together, right? They don't know what a verb is. They don't know what an adjective is. They can't create verbs. Like, we teach we're educating Black children. We're not just telling them to go out and be entrepreneurs, right? We're educating Black children to be the kings and queens and rulers of the world. You can't rule the world if you can't multiply.
That's right.
You can't rule the world if you don't have reading comprehension skills. And so we teach our children those foundational skills that they need in education.
And in addition to, for the summer, because adults ask us all the time, well, y'all got all this for the children, what do you have for the adults? So we do stuff for the adults too. And we're actually working on something huge for the adults that my wife, I don't know, we're not going to make it public yet, but my wife is leading the way on something. But we do stuff for adults every month. So like this month, we have courses. We have a live course recording on the 27th. We have a live course recording on the 27th that adults can get tickets to. The seating is limited just because it's being recorded, and it's nationally, so it'd be pushed nationally through all of our networks. But you can get it way discounted and come for cheap and come to the live recording. So we do stuff for adults all the time. I mean, we're business consultants, so we have clients. We do one-on-one coaching. We have programs set in place. So depending on where you're at in business, whether you just started and you really can't afford a lot, or whether you need a lot of one-on-one attention and we need to walk you through it. So we have tiers available for adults. So we work with adults too. But with adults though, we're just not going to teach you math, science. You should already have that when you come to us, right? Adults just get worship. Whereas the children,
you'll be surprised. Some people need brush ups, but I get you.
Absolutely. So, but we cover both adults and children.
You yawning on camera, brother?
Let me live it. I need to do a dance or something. Live it up. No, I love that. I'm very big on parent involvement, and just with my own platform, I do a big. One of the big things I want parents to know that they are their first teacher. You're your child's first teacher, and your home is your first classroom, right? And there has to be a level of partnership between the teacher at the school and the teacher at home if we want our children to succeed and be the best them that they could possibly be. And too often we are disconnected in that aspect where you think that, oh, they're only going to school to learn. No, you learn everywhere. Every day you go outside and just walk around and learn, and it's very important to me. And when you all was talking about the Black boys having a hard time in school no matter what, yes, that's one of the biggest conversation pieces I am having with women, especially if the father is not in a home, about letting schools diagnose their children with ADD or saying that they're this or they're that. It's not that. It's just a lack of discipline and structure, you
Absolutely.
know? And so you're absolutely right. It's predominantly white women in the school taking care of children, and we just there are cultural differences in every culture, no
Absolutely.
matter what you are. You could be black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, there are Indian, whatever. I work with them all. There's definitely a cultural difference, and then when we're working with our children, it's always perceived that they're bad. They're this, they're that, because they have this energy, or they just learn differently. And it's not that. So everything that you guys have been touching on has been very good. It aligns so well with my thought process and everything that I'm trying to do. I appreciate you guys. Like, I really do. I feel like I feel like I could learn from y'all too, you know? And so this is great. I'm really happy to hear about this. And it's in Rockford, Illinois. And you guys been going everywhere. Even to Tulsa. I went to school in Oklahoma. So even hearing that you guys had something big to do in Oklahoma was very beautiful. And I just want you guys to soar, you know. And I kept, y'all know I keep wanting to say Kikifers. Kikifers Academy is awesome. I love what you guys are doing and what you stand for. Is there a price to the summer program for the parents so that they could know, or is that something that will be listed on your website?
It's not listed on the website, but we sent the direct to be able to register for summer school.
Okay.
And the price is $300 for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good, you guys.
$50 a week. Break it down like that.
Especially when they teaching your children how to build apps that they can make money from. And I want to touch on one more thing about that. Our children are heavily into video games and things of that nature. And why not teach them something about something that they love, but how they can make money from it, right, and how they could do the same thing. So I think that's awesome. I think it's definitely worth, if not worth more than $300 for 6 weeks, you know. And we need more programs like that. And if you guys ever want to come on here and tell me again about another new program that's gonna come out for the summer for the parents, just let me know. How can anybody reach you if they want to know a little bit more about your school, the summer program?
But I'm gonna text while he talking.
So I have my wife text in the school's website, which is kikifersacademy.org. You can always go to the website, and all the information is on the website. The apps may not be on there yet. It may not be. It's not. You did it wrong. The apps may not be updated yet. But we try to keep it updated. We have a good tech team, so we try to keep it updated as much as possible. You can also email us at kikifersacademy@gmail.com. I'll have my wife put the email in there, info@kikifersacademy.org. Also, you can call. We have a number you can call. I'll have her put that in the chat as well. And trying to think, those are the best ways, though. Call, email, website. But it's really important, too, even for any other educators that are watching or for people who have children. Something we did this year that was shocking to my whole class was that we did the dial test with our students. And we had our youngest students do the dial test. And, you know,
explain what that is.
So for anybody watching that doesn't know what the dial test was, the first dial test was done in the 50s. I forget the doctor's name who did it. And then they redid it. There's a documentary on YouTube called A Girl Like Me that came out back in like 2001, maybe something like that. And the dial test essentially is where you take young children and then you give them a white dial and a black dial, and you assign characteristics to each dial. So we asked the children, which dial is the smart dial? Which dial is the dumb dial? Which dial is the good dial? Which dial is the evil dial? Which dial, so we did that with our young children after having a conversation. We watched Blackish and we had a conversation on colorism. So after discussing colorism and symbolic and how white supremacy, racism is symbolic, meaning you don't necessarily teach it directly. It's not taught overtly like, you're black, so you're bad, but through all the symbolism, all the cartoon characters are black, that are evil are bad, all the good ones are, white. Devil's food cake is black, angel's food cake is white. So we went through that process, and then what we found with our youngest students is when we gave them the Dow test and asked them, which was the good Dow, even though they were in a black school with black teachers, with black curriculum, with black staff, based on that part just coming into the school, they still chose the white Dow as the good Dow. They still white Dow as the smart Dow. They still chose the white Dow as the pretty Dow. Then we asked them which is the evil Dow, which is the bad Dow, which is the stupid Dow. They still chose the black Dow. Then we asked them, well, which Dow looks like you? And then of course they chose the black Dow. So it's very important. We just saw a report that said that you can change the trajectory of a child's life just by having one black teacher in your life. What did you say? Up to
a black child.
A black child having just one black teacher in their life
in elementary school.
In elementary school can completely change the trajectory of that child's life. So it's very important for educators and for parents to understand that if you don't have your child in an environment where they can see somebody that looks like them, talks like them, sounds like them, knows what a do-rag is, knows what edges are, knows their culture, that can literally change the trajectory of your child's life. So just keep that in mind. Even if it's not our school, seek out and find those with like mind, because there's lots of schools out there that can help with that process. And just something as small as that can literally change the trajectory of a child's life. So that's very important to know.
Yes, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's interesting and so cool that you guys do the Dow test. That's awesome. And it's a bit crazy that the students still feel that way when they're surrounded by all that blackness, all that greatness, is disheartening. But that's something that we are all working to change. I promise you, because I am in that fight with you all, because it's very important. And I just can't imagine how our students are growing up and not seeing enough black teachers nowadays. Right. I had a lot of black teachers when I was younger. And you're right, they're very influential and memorable. I tell people all the time, my second grade teacher, Miss Sykes, God rest her soul, she was a great teacher, and she had almost all my siblings. And just how we was grounded in black history and knowing ourselves and knowing where we came from and understanding what our people went through has been very critical and influential in my life, in me in general. And then my dad, he don't play about all that black history. He was a librarian, been in the library system for years, and so I'm well aware of my culture, my history, and myself. And I see the difference when people are not aware of who they are and where they come from. And so that is definitely something that me, myself, is working on changing for our youth as well. And I think it's very important for other cultures to know who we are, right, where we come from, and what we are, what we're capable of. Because a lot of things, if not the whole country, has been built on the back of African Americans, our ancestors, Right. And so y'all got me going now. Look, you ain't said that. Look, I'm in the mood. Juneteenth was just yesterday. Don't get me started. I got my queen shirt on. It's very, 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 very important. Very important. Image is everything. So I salute you guys. I salute all teachers, everybody who is doing something, because I say this too. It's a quadrillion children in this world, and we cannot do it alone.
That's right.
We all have to work together and be better mentors, be better teachers, be better parents, be better unified in our communities to get this information out there and change the trajectory, because I don't like the school systems either. Mm-hmm. That is something even in early childhood education. Now they really coming for my field. A lot of it was ignored for a lot of years. Now the attention is on us, and I'm like, I don't like where this is going. So we have to get in front of it. We have to continue to pour into our children and I see it happening a lot more. And
Mm-hmm.
we just need to get stronger and be more unified, because it's definitely needed. Our children feel like their voices are not being heard, and that's an issue. And
Absolutely.
we need to, you cannot, I say this all the time too, you have to be relatable. Everything that you were saying about somebody going into a classroom and knowing what a do-rag is, a scarf is, I'm about to put my scarf on as soon as we finish this interview,
Right. Right.
you have to know, and that's a cultural thing, right? If you have somebody from another culture telling you that it's something wrong with your natural hair, that it's something wrong with you wearing scarves, that it's something wrong with you having this type of skin, then that creates a problem.
Absolutely.
And they have to understand that there's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with you.
Right.
And that you're beautiful. I had to tell a couple of children this weekend that they're beautiful, and they just was smiling. Just don't randomly tell a child that they're beautiful and see
Right.
how it changes them. So I appreciate y'all. I really do.
Thank you.
Everybody, tune in to Kikifers. Ah, got it. Tune in to Kikifers Academy. Go follow them.
If
Go.
anybody would like to, we're doing a huge drive right now for we want to be able to make sure all the low income students who attend our school have scholarships. So if anybody would like to sponsor a child scholarship or donate towards a child scholarship, our school is a 501c3, so they can donate, and it's a tax write-off. And if they live in Illinois and they donate, we have a process where they can get a 75% tax credit. So if they, somebody gave 10,000, they'll get 7,500 back, but they'll get credit for still giving the full 10. So it's a loophole in the system that's still available in Illinois for anybody that likes to help support a child or sponsor a scholarship or help a child, be able to go to school tuition free. So that's our big push right now too. So I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. And do y'all have something for people who may not be able to donate on that larger scale, but could donate and
Yeah,
just give to you guys?
anything. You can always donate. We have a PayPal button on our website that goes directly to our school, or you can donate via Cash App or Zelle. And
Oh yeah, give me that. Drop that cash app right now, cause y'all know everybody be in cash app. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna send you something. I got another school in Atlanta that I asked if they had a cash app, because they doing the same thing.
Yeah, I have my
And
website in the chat. But yeah, that just
yes,
helps. Defraying the cost for children's scholarships allows us to be able to reach our babies where, if the family can't afford it, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a thing of now as we figure it out, and as you get into entrepreneurship, what we found is that those families in particular really take advantage of the opportunity. And we have, we tell parents, you don't pay tuition for your student; it's an investment. And if you learn the process and you go through it, not only will you earn your investment that you put into your child back, but you'll also get a return on your profit as well. So, and then after school is over, you can still continue to take the skills that you've learned and continue making money. So we're trying to reverse that wealth gap, that we suffer from without having to beg and ask other people for it. We can do it ourselves if we have the right knowledge. So, if anybody
yes,
can support that, definitely make sure, so you can sponsor small, sponsor big. You don't got to give $1 million, but if you do, we're not gonna turn you down.
right. I hear that. Well, thank you so much for coming out and speaking with me. I definitely appreciate the both of you, the Bro Henry and Sister Keishonda. You guys are awesome. Keep Kikifers. I was about to say it again, y'all. Kikifers Academy is doing great things for the community, for everyone. For the students, for the parents. Y'all tap in, get involved, especially if you could go touch them in person. Come on, Rockford, y'all better get in there. And everybody who are willing to do it virtual, go ahead. Go ahead, tap in. It's a new era. We're learning all type of ways. I'm actually trying to learn how to do virtual stuff myself, but since it's with the babies, it's not gonna be too virtual. But I'm trying to get in with the new way too, and I know it's hard, but hey, anything is possible.
That's right.
So I definitely do appreciate you all. Thank you for coming out. Happy Father's Day again. Is there anything else y'all want to say to the people before we leave?
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. We love to talk about our school and what we're doing and sharing this awesome experience with the world. So thank you for having us, and to everybody that came and went. We appreciate you guys just giving us your ears and eyes for the moment in time that you did. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you guys for coming out. I definitely do. I appreciate everything, and I cannot wait to see how Kikifers Academy grows.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right.
We gonna get it. We gonna get it. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
And I'll tag you into this video. And I hope everyone had a good time, learned something new, and tap in. They only got 10 spots left.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.